welcome to Agenda from Bengaluru. Now, Karnataka has been the setting for a major political drama. Twists and turns which are very rich even by the standards of Indian politics. Congress MLAs brought all the way from Gujarat to a resort on the outskirts of the city. The Congress minister in charge of looking after those MLAs, D.K. Shivkumar, raided by income tax authorities. Picked up, in fact, from that very same resort. Now, is this just an ongoing investigation and just progress in that investigation? Or is it very deliberate and well-timed political intervention? What does this really say about politics, corruption, and also our official agencies? Joining us to discuss this, we have representatives from the major political parties in Karnataka and also keen observers of what is going on in the state. And in fact, we'll start with these observers. Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Pro-Vice Chancellor of Jain University, you have kept a keen eye on politics and what's been going on in the state. What is your reading of what has happened over the last few days? The MLAs coming here, the raids on Shivkumar?
MLAs coming here, I think Karnataka has been quite used to it.
It's a hospitable home.
In 2010, 2009, you had the BJP shepherding its MLAs from Goa to other places. So every party in power in Karnataka has been using this to try and herd its MLAs together, which speaks much more of the nature of discipline within political parties, that a party needs to herd its MLAs to a particular location to be able to keep them within its
flock. It's not
flock.
exactly a vote of confidence in a party's own MLAs to feel that they have to do this. And all parties have done it.
And you see, what has happened in Karnataka in the last few days, you have, we are hosting the representatives of another state in our state. We have always been great hosts to outsiders. Income tax raid on a minister. I think beyond a shadow of doubt, one point I would make is, yes, we need to go after any example of unaccounted wealth, if this were to be unaccounted wealth. I think this nation is one, citizens are one on the question of driving against corruption. But then there seem to be too many things which are coincidental in this particular incident. In any democracy, the investigative agency must not only be independent, but to be seen to be acting independently. You see, for the minister to make a statement in the Lok Sabha within a short time of the raid starting, that the minister was tearing papers. Now, how does what an investigative agency do get reached to Parliament so soon? For me, that raises a host of questions.
Who are they reporting
I am
to
for
and
investigation.
Yes.
I am for unearthing black money. I am for action against people in the public domain who disrespect ethics and morality. But then we need to make sure that agency is acting independently.
Professor Trilochan Shastri, chairman of the ADR, this is a group which of course has done a lot in terms of watching corruption and the politics of corruption and the corruption of politics. We do often view the rich in India, we do often view them with suspicion. But this raid on a man who's being described as India's second richest minister officially, does it surprise you?
Before the Delhi elections, the opposition in Delhi was targeted. Before the Bihar elections, the opposition in Bihar was elected. Now we have the Rajya Sabha elections and the assembly elections in Karnataka. We again find the same thing happening. So like Sandeep said, I think we need to fight black money and corruption. But in Hindi, if I may use a Hindi phrase, chun chun ke marenge. Very selectively picking up people. So our data show that there are 24 BJP ministers in the central government who have declared in their own affidavits that they have a criminal record.
Yes.
So first clean up, physician, heal thyself. First clean up corruption in your own party before you start cleaning up corruption in another parties.
So as an independent corruption observer, you do believe that there is something very motivated in the targets?
I think the government will gain a lot of credibility if it starts taking action against corrupt people within the BJP. Then people will really accept that this is a true fight against corruption.
T.R. Raghunandan, you're with the Centre for Policy Research. You've also done a lot of anti-corruption work. Your response to the whole episode?
See, we're witnessing a tectonic shift in the way political parties interact with each other. In the past, political parties, there was a line beyond which political parties wouldn't go because it was kind of honor amongst thieves. And you never know when you needed whom for what, and for why. So therefore, and you must remember that 100 MPs of the BJP are ex-Congress people, right? So when I say that people shift loyalties, it happens. It's a practical part of political life in this country. So the whole point is, well, we will not look at your corrupt people, and when you are in power, you know, you kind of excuse what we are doing, because you know and I know that we need to bribe voters and to fund
people in glass
campaigns.
houses.
I think we've just witnessed a kind of a tipping point, not only here, but if you look at what's happened in Goa and in Bihar, and this as a natural, kind of continuation of that. What we are seeing here is political vindictiveness and gamemanship using instruments at the borderline of legality. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing an income tax raid. It must be done. Black money must be caught. But when you're going for an income tax raid, it's not as if the person that you're attacking is a terrorist. You don't need to take the paramilitary forces with you,
And pick them up from a resort where they are temporarily.
The message is to shock and awe. It's not only for this instance, but listen, if you're not with us, this is what we could do to you. And so I think they're really pushing the line. It's interesting. I like to watch what's going to happen.
Shock and awe. In this whole demonstration of shock and awe, is the fact, Rizwan Arshad from the Congress here in Bengaluru, is the fact that this is a man being investigated for corruption being lost? We've heard tales of crores which are just mounting day by day by day as the investigation goes on. This is a man who is accused of corruption. How is the Congress coming out on the streets to defend him?
See, we are not here to defend one man. We are not here to criticize the raids or whatever the procedure as per law is. See, fight against corruption should not be selective and subjective. It should be in general. It is 8th or 9th leader of the Congress party in Karnataka who has been raided. We welcome all the raids. Nobody is above the law. But even Mr. Modi should not be above the law. Even any BJP leader should not be above the law. You have one principle. Whether it is BJP, Congress, Independent, Janata Dal, whatever it is, we will go all out. And it should be fought on all fronts. And here it is, why we can't see every raid isolated. Every raid has a background. Why the background comes? When you have a Gujarat MLAs coming here, what made this MLA come here? Yes, we can say, you can tell us why your MLAs are so weak.
Lack of trust.
It is not only money. Those people who wanted to go for money have already gone. In 2008 in Karnataka, there was Operation Kamla. Every legislator was priced tagged for 20 crores, 30 crores. In Gujarat, they have paid the MLAs. The MLA who received money is not raided. The people who paid money is not raided. And those people who are not ready to take money, they are threatened with IT, ED and CBI. I just want to tell them one thing. CBI raids on leaders. Welcome. If they have done wrong, you raid. Why they raid only Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister when there is his daughter's wedding? On the same day you have to raid him. Then you raid Uttarakhand Chief Minister. Then you raid the office of Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Then you raid Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Manish Sisodia. Till Jayalalitha was alive, they didn't have guts to raid her office. That day she died, you raided her chief secretary. Then you raided so many people to try and take the control of the party.
Which is really questioning the official agencies themselves. S. Prakash, spokesperson of the BJP here, IT, ED, CBI being used as tools by the central government, the party in power, to oppress the opposition. Selectively targeted raids.
This is the standard accusation made by the opposition party. Even in the past, this was our stand when Congress used to raid many of the opposition members.
You do admit that, you do,
No,
yes.
You face the fact, here is a person who has been raided for amassing wealth. If he has nothing to hide, why should you bother about it? After all, income tax department is only verifying your document.
But
place it
like
before all
you
the
said,
documents.
it depends on who's in power.
To win one Rajya Sabha seat, never in the past. The genesis of resort politics has started in 1984, but it did not. It was for a government. For one Rajya Sabha seat, you are neglecting 1 lakh people. 200 people have died in Gujarat in the flood fury. You have ignored them. You are shying away from your responsibility. You shifted your place
to the
Bangalore
issue of institutions.
And,
earlier, the BJP has used Congress Bureau of Investigation for the CBI itself. Do these entities not have an independence?
Until and unless the evidences are found, if it can unearth illegal money, What's the problem? Why it should not be raided? Is he above the law?
Nobody is above. I think the point being that...
I've been very clear. We are not against the raids. How Mr. Shivkumar was brought in as if he is a terrorist. CRPF brought Mr. Shivkumar as if this Shivkumar will run away and he'll vanish somewhere.
Congress has objected to the use of the CRPF, officially objected.
See, the way you're creating an environment of fear. See, in Karnataka, from last 3.5 years when you have formed the government, why only Congress leaders are being raided?
Many BJP leaders have also been raided. It is not that it is selective. And even if a raid take place, why should a national party which ruled us for 57 years should become so panic? Whole demonstration throughout the state and their top leaders...
Is the panic...
It is not on raid on Shivkumar. The demonstrations are not for the raid on Mr. Shivkumar. The demonstration is against... See, just
Shivkumar is very important for the election campaign. He is very important.
Every leader is important. Why only Shivkumar? Every leader is important. They want to make Congress Mukt Bharat. It is not Congress Mukt Bharat. Opposition Mukt Bharat. Not political opposition. Nobody should oppose whatever we say. That is the intention. That is why on that mission, IT is working, ED is working, and CBI is working. That is the problem.
Priti Reddy of the Aam Aadmi Party, your party started on an anti-corruption plank. That's how the genesis of the party was. Your take on all this. Do you believe that these entities, ED, IT, CBI, are independent or are they not independent?
Maya, I think it's common knowledge. It's not today, but almost for the past 15-16 years, anti-corruption activists in Karnataka have been crying hoarse about the corruption of Mr. D.K. Shivkumar. It also goes without saying that it's common knowledge that the Karnataka government and the ministers in the Congress government have been funding the Congress across the state. Now let's put that aside. What is very suspicious is the timing of this whole thing. The BJP representative has been saying the Congress has previously misused the CBI. Never before in the country has the CBI, the IT, as well as the ED been misused to this extent purely with a political agenda. Around the country, they have a strategy of taking over, and where they couldn't win elections, they have used threats. They have tried to buy MLAs. Where it hasn't worked, they have sent the CBI after them across the state.
So
I mean, whether
no
you
faith
see
in
the
those bodies right now?
Sorry?
No faith in those bodies right now?
Absolutely.
Mr. Prasad Gowda, Janata Dal secular spokesperson, your party does not have any great love for D.K. Shivkumar. What do you think, though, about the timing of these raids?
Yeah, regarding the timings that raid has happened, even we are not happy with that. But of course, we are not against raid. Raid, if the person is corrupt, you can go ahead, no problem. And of course, after the raid, they have found lot of things are happening. But one thing I would like to bring it to your notice, and in our country, revenge politics is happening. From the day, I feel, when Amit Shah was taken charges against some thing, and that time Ahmed Patel was in power during when Congress was in power, and Amit Shah was put in jail. Maybe Amit Shah must have thought that this is the right time when D.K. Shivkumar is taken care of this 43 MLAs of Gujarat, and that would have been made them furious about this. But definitely it is between Ahmed Patel and Amit Shah. It is not between D.K. Shivkumar. They don't have anything with D.K. Shivkumar, but they made D.K. Shivkumar as a scapegoat. 1 second, D.K. Shivkumar as a scapegoat.
For that fight between giants. For the fight between
there is a fight between Sonia Gandhi's main aide and Amit Shah.
So central giants fighting and D.K. Shivkumar.
Raid of this magnitude, raiding at 60 places with 200 to 300 people involving, cannot happen overnight. These MLAs are here for the last 3-4 days. The preparation for the raid would have gone by 6 months back.